Today is the day that Ron DeSantis launches his presidential campaign, entering the Republican primary against the presumed and actual, it's funny, presumed, he's really the front runner, Donald Trump, and we will soon start to learn, is there some viable path for Ron DeSantis to the Republican nomination? The details are fascinating and abortive. Ron DeSantis is going to be launching his campaign on Twitter, I know, in a Twitter Spaces event with Twitter owner Elon Musk. NBC News reports the Florida governor will announce he is running for president on Twitter Wednesday evening in a conversation with Elon Musk. We will be streaming this live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I hope you will join us for that. NBC News explains Musk and DeSantis will host an event on Twitter Spaces, the site's platform for audio chats, on Wednesday at 6 Eastern. It will be moderated by David Sachs, a tech entrepreneur who's a Musk confidant and DeSantis supporter. That same evening, meaning tonight, the campaign will release a launch video. DeSantis will begin visiting several early states after Memorial Day. The relationship could is doing a lot of work here. The relationship could be a significant boost for DeSantis by giving him an introduction to and credibility with Musk's massive following, including his 140 million Twitter followers. But it could prove a burden should DeSantis become distracted by the tycoon's many controversial comments. Not only that, I mean, listen, let's be honest. Ron DeSantis's entire anti-woke thing is not actually very much in line with Elon Musk's Tesla electric vehicles. We're not going to go woke with these electric vehicles. You can't even drive them, right? I mean, it doesn't actually make any sense. But also, Musk has started to play coy with Republican elected officials, becoming buddy-buddy with Greg Abbott in Texas, et cetera. So it's going to be quite a wild event, and I'm as curious as anybody else. You know, one of the things that we have to understand, Twitter Spaces, why? My understanding is there will be absolutely no pushback or actual journalistic questions asked on Twitter Spaces tonight. And that may be by design. It's not clear DeSantis wants to answer questions tonight, including the most obvious and basic question, which is, what is DeSantis's mathematical path to this nomination? Because if we look at current polling, here's the Real Clear Politics averages in the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. What you see here, the two most important lines on this chart are the purple line at the top, which keeps going up. That's Donald Trump. And the green line down the middle, which keeps going down, that's DeSantis. And DeSantis continues to see small declines in polling, now down to just 19.4. Today, Trump's lead over DeSantis in the primary is, I think, as big as it has ever been. I mean, at one point it reached what looks like 32. Yeah, Trump is now leading DeSantis by 37 in the primary. This is arguably the worst it has looked for DeSantis since his name started to be thrown around seriously back in September. And so the question is, how can DeSantis scoop up all of the non-Trump vote, which would get him to 43, 44? And then if and when he does that, how does he take at least 6 or 7 points from Trump to get even with him? I don't know the answer. You know, when we ask the question generically, right, how does a candidate take supporters from another candidate? There's a few ways. One is DeSantis could explain his values in a way that would appeal to the moral beliefs of Trump supporters. Like he could frame his policies on immigration or healthcare or education or whatever. He could frame it in terms of individual freedom or national security or being anti-woke or whatever he thinks will appeal to MAGA people. It doesn't really sound likely. It doesn't sound to me that MAGA voters are there waiting for someone else to appeal to them on the moral values that attracted them to Trump. Just doesn't seem to really make sense. Second possibility to take support from a candidate that already has support would be, can you gather up enough endorsements from influential enough figures that Trump supporters trust and respect, that they say, hey, you know what? It's less about Trump and DeSantis. It's the people that I see endorsing DeSantis makes me think I should leave Trump and go to DeSantis. It, again, doesn't seem likely because we just looked at this story. More than 100 former Trump officials are supporting DeSantis. We've seen a number of prominent Republicans say we need a different direction than Trump. MAGA genuinely doesn't seem to care. So that doesn't seem like a path for DeSantis to take support from Trump. And then the third way you can take support away from someone who has it is you make a mathematical case, you make an empirical case, you make a polling case, and you say, I am the person that is best positioned to beat Joe Biden. You convince MAGA people, with Trump, you lose to Biden. With me, you win. I honestly don't even know that that would convince MAGA voters, even if it's true, because on Friday, in the Friday feedback segment, we're going to look at emails from Trump cultists who say, I don't care about anything. I will only vote for Trump and that's it. And so that also doesn't seem to be a convincing argument that DeSantis could make to take support for Trump. And again, remember, the reason this matters is Trump's already polling 56. So to win, DeSantis has to take supporters from Trump. I don't know how he does it. So we're going to look at the event tonight. We'll see what happens. Should be interesting. We'll see what role Elon Musk plans to play in the DeSantis campaign more broadly. It seems as though with Musk behind him, Twitter is going to be potentially a strong force supporting DeSantis, but would that be enough? Would that make a difference? We will see. In the meantime, Trump brown nosers and suck-ups are starting to do the dirty work for Trump in attacking Ron DeSantis. One of those people is Carrie Lake. Let's talk about that next. I've had such trouble finding a great razor where I am not cutting myself or getting those nicks on my skin, which are so common with the cheap disposable razors. You have to meet our sponsor, Henson Shaving. Henson actually manufactures parts for the International Space Station and the Mars rover, and they are bringing that exact same precision engineering to the shaving experience. It hurts when you shave because blades extend too far and thus they wobble slightly. But with their aerospace grade CNC machines, Henson is able to make metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches. That's less than the thickness of a human hair, which means a secure, stable blade with a vibration-free shave. It also has built-in channels to evacuate the hair and the cream. No more clogs, no more rubbing your thumb on the razor to get the hair out. I use Henson at home. Shaving is a great experience now. Henson wants to be the best razor, not the best razor business, which means you only need to buy it once and it's awesome. Go to hensonshaving.com/Pacman, add a razor and a 100-pack of blades to your cart, then enter the code Pacman to get the 100 blades for free. That is a 3-year supply. The link is down below.